So, again, I'm back with another tutorial tip for you. And this time, it's how to learn the juggle with this, with the balance, okay? I actually made a video about this before. If you go to my YouTube page and you check out the videos, there's a tutorial, something like how to balance, how to juggle while with the balance, something like this. You can find it. So, there's some tips that you want to like when you're learning this that you want to do. One of the things is, one of the biggest things that people overlook and they don't practice it because it seems silly and funny, but it is actually so useful. So do that before you try to juggle, okay? And what it is this. You keep the balance, and then what you try to do next is something else, like to distract your balance. You have to alternate so the balance becomes automatic and everything else you do is what you concentrate on. It will be separated into two systems in your brain. It's, if you read the Thinking Fast and Slow book, there you can find the good description of what they are, system 1 and 2 in your brains where you're thinking and doing some mental work. Good book. Anyway, so what you can do with the balance, what you can do then is talk. Just talk with someone, have a conversation. And like, make them ask questions for you. Do math, what is 10 plus 10 minus 15? I don't know, shit like that. So you can keep the balance while thinking about something else. Because then when you add the juggling, you want to have the balance is so solid that you can think anything else. And you can do like whatever you want. And then you can focus on the balance. And one more thing is learn to catch. No, it's the waving of the hands to disrupt your club, like disrupt your balance. That I learned originally from Jay Gilligan. Great juggler, great teacher, check out his work. But that's how you do it. So you wave your hands on the sides, like that, and still try to keep the balance, and then you wave your hands on the front and on the back, so like that. And try to just keep the balance still. Yeah. So these are like a few exercises that you really want to like master before you start to juggle with the balance. Okay? Try them out. If you have any questions, ask. Booyah!
There's one thing that remains pretty clear is the wrong.
Yo, what it is, showbiz. It's Lauri Koskinen, aka Lauri Cock, back in the house. So, today we're gonna learn, this is a tutorial about chops. So, club swinging, chops. These are chops. Okay? And that's a drop. And these are reverse chops. Okay, so those are our today's tutorials. And the first thing to learn is, what I think it's a good way to start is to learn this first. So you do the swing on the outside. Okay? So how do you do it? Once you catch the club, this is the action that you're gonna do. The swinging, you hold it with the thumb. So basically you let it go on the front, like give it some momentum, some force, and just hold it with the thumb. It goes circle, and it spins outside of your hand. If you do it with the left, it spins on the left side. Okay? And learn them both ways. So this is, that's the first movement. Because when you do, a lot of people do chops, they go that, like, but to get the moment, like, spin it, really spin it. And it doesn't matter where you hold it. If you hold it here, you can still do it. If you hold it on the middle, if you hold it really at the end, you can always do it. In my opinion, it's better to hold it down here, because then you get bigger circle, and it just looks better, you know, in my opinion. So, first you learn this. Catch the club, swing. Catch the club, swing. So once you catch it, you let the fat end drop down and make it a circle. If you give it a little speed, it will spin faster. Okay? So this is what you learn first. Get used to this movement. Once you get this going on, take two. Okay? Two of these bad boys. And then you do the same thing. You get cascade pattern, and then with the first one you catch, you just go, you do the jump, swing. Okay, and then you're gonna do with the second one, straight when you catch it, just go swing. And then with both, so go boom, boom. Throw. Okay, so you do with both. And then, okay, once you get this going on, you get the idea, then throw faster. And like start the next, just keep it going as a pattern. So with this, boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's it. And after that, you take the third one, start the cascade, and then just add one. Chop to it. And with the left hand, oh yeah, good. The other one. Then you can do like one club, it's always a chop. And if you relax your pattern a bit, it comes a little easier. Like if you have a really fast pattern, you have to be fast. Or if you have a slow pattern, you can be slower. Okay, so it's basically it's up to your style and how do you want to do it, how do you learn, how is your cascade. But I think it's better to learn first slowly to get the action, you know, to learn it really motion and movements. So first you do like just one side, then you do the other side, then you start doing like 1, 2, then you can go like 1, 2, 3, and then just keep on adding 1, 2, 3, 4, then go 5, then go 6. No, let's get it going. And you can see I always like when I catch the club, then I spin it. Okay, and then it's good to film yourself that you're not doing like this, like we talked about earlier. Nothing like that. So the swing is really goes this way, the way you're standing. Okay. And then once you get that, then you can start doing the chop, which goes cross. Again, so then it's this. What you do then is you swing the club over the other club. And it's basically the same thing. You catch and you swing across. You catch, you swing across. So think like there's a line between here, or like a big ball in front of you. Just spin the club, instead of spinning it this way, you go over the ball, like that. And then it comes back. Okay? And you do the same thing with first with 1, then with 2, and then with 3. And all this kind of stuff that we did before. And then you do it with 3. Just go one side, and then you have to widen your pattern. Like with this, your pattern can be a little bit narrow. But once you get the crossing chop, then you want to widen your pattern, the 3 club pattern, just a little bit. Just enough to have space to go between. Okay? Like that. And that's it. And again, make sure you're doing big circles. So the circles are like really big. Okay? And if you want to perform this trick to front, try to get everything like go really nice sideways. If you want to do it from the side, try to get everything going frontways, like this. What else? Reverse. Same thing. So you do the reverse thing, you catch, and then you learn it to go the other way. So the pattern goes up. And then you learn to throw it from there. And the same way you learn the regular chops, 1, 2, 3, you learn the reverse. And then you can turn the reverse to go cross, like that. And what it is, it does, it spins in front of the other hand. Okay? Like that. And then with 3. Again, first with 1, then with 2, then with 3. And you get a nice big circle. You get that swinging motion. So it's not like that. So you get that big swing to it. Elegance. Niceness, you know. Okay. And then you can do whatever combinations that you prefer. Okay? But that's the basic things of the chops. Hope you liked it. Try it out. Let me know how it goes. Put some comments below. Thanks for watching. Hope that helps. See ya!
Hey everybody, my name is Taylor Glenn and this is my channel Taylor Tries, where I try new things and I try to teach you new things. And today I'm going to teach you a juggling trick called chops. And I'm going to teach you both with balls and with clubs. Chops is a really fun trick that you can learn after learning a few 3-ball tricks or 3-club tricks, and it's great because you can do it with both balls and clubs, and it looks extremely different, in my opinion, depending on which prop you're using. They're essentially the exact same trick. I do think that clubs are a little bit harder and have a couple extra flair things that I'm going to talk about in this tutorial, but if you wanted to learn clubs over balls, you can absolutely do that, even though I think that learning it with balls is probably a little bit easier. So I'm gonna simultaneously teach both balls and clubs at the same time throughout this tutorial. Follow along with whatever prop you wanna learn. Before we jump into it too much, I wanna take a second and thank everyone who is a member of my Otter Club over on Patreon. It is because of you that I'm able to make these tutorials for everyone else, so thank you so much. If you're interested in joining the Otter Club, it's as little as $2 a month and you get access to all sorts of exciting stuff. Members of my Patreon also get an extended version of this tutorial where I teach how to do outside chops, which is a fun variation on the regular inside chops. So if you want access to that, go join my Patreon. You can watch this whole tutorial with the extended part at the end and it's a good time. So yeah. All right, so chops might look a little intimidating and confusing, but it's important to realize that underneath it all, it's still just a side swap 3. And that means that it's a basic 3-ball cascade. It's just that you're doing a cool choppy drag in between each throw in order to make it look fancy. But it's still just a cascade. Okay, let's break it down. Let's start with 2 balls. So with 2 balls, we're gonna practice that first drag. We're gonna start by raising our hand up and having 1 ball underneath. Now this is almost gonna be like an underhand throw right here. And as we do that, we're just gonna drag, not like that. As we do that, we're just gonna drag this hand down. So the balls are gonna sort of trade places. As this ball goes up, this ball is gonna go down. Then when that ball starts coming down, you're gonna throw the ball in your hand up and catch the other one coming down. When you're throwing that underhand throw, try aiming it a little bit diagonally to the outside. So we're gonna throw it almost like a normal cascade throw, it's just a little more outside than usual. Now practice that little pop-up move on each side. So a few things about this exercise. What I don't want you to do is throw that underhand ball first and then try to chop. That's not how the timing should work. Your hand should already be up here as you're starting the throw. And then they're going to literally trade places like a seesaw. And I like to sort of grab that ball coming down in an upward motion so that I end up here. So with clubs, we're gonna do that same thing. Pop up. Now with clubs, we're gonna add an extra little step, or flourish rather. As we're chopping this club down, we're gonna loosen our grip and slide the club down to the knob. That's going to elongate the throw and really make it like accentuated and look more choppy. It's really the secret to making chops look awesome with clubs. And so just practice that 2-club exercise. If you can't do it with 2, you can't do it with 3, as I always say. Once you feel good with it though, let's pick up a 3rd ball and or a 3rd club. Both. All right, now with 3, we're gonna do that exact same thing we were just doing with the 2 balls and the seesaw teeter-totter thing, except this time, when we do that, we're gonna then lift the opposite hand immediately. So it's gonna go, so as this hand comes down, that hand goes up. And we can do it the other way. See how my hand immediately pops up? Next, you're just gonna do another chop. 1, 2, 1, 2. And see how immediately, when one hand is coming down, you lift up the other hand. And then you can do 3. 1, 2, 3, and then stop. 1, 2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 3, stop. Then add a 4th row and a 5th row, and eventually you'll be running chops like a freaking fruit ninja. Yeah. So if you're working on this with clubs, there's one thing that I think is really important that helped me a lot when learning it, and that is that you want to throw your underhand throws in like a lofty single. If you end up doing it too low, it's going to be very fast and difficult. Now that's fine if that's your intention, but when you're first learning, try really getting those like underhand throws very lofty. You really want to give yourself that time and that freedom to do a full extension of your chop so that you can pop it back up. But when you pop it back up, you need to make sure it's a nice lofty single. That is the secret to doing chops with clubs. If you remember that, it should be a lot easier. If you're rushing it, it's gonna spin too much and you're not gonna be able to have time to fully extend your arm. Now that's the other thing I want to talk about. A stylistic thing when you're doing chops is that you really want to extend your arm fully when you're doing the chop. I personally think this looks better. I also think that's true for balls. I tend to bring my arm very accentuated through the middle. Now you can do chops in a very not choppy way, and that has a cool look too. It's totally valid. I think it's personally harder to do with clubs if you choose to do it that way. This is a lot harder on my wrists. It's a lot harder to maintain. It's faster. If you slow those clubs down, get a nice lofty pattern, and maintain that loftiness, you're gonna have a lot easier time. I also recommend trying to practice getting into it from just a basic 3-ball cascade. And if you're gonna do that, I'd make your pattern a little higher and slower than usual. Like if you juggle right here, try slowing it down and then just doing 1. And what you're doing is this ball is coming down and you're gonna scoop it out and come down the middle. Just like that exercise with 2 balls. Nice and slow. 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's especially true if you're doing it with clubs. Start with a nice, slow, lofty pattern. And that's chops. Now you might be having some hard things that you're getting stuck on. I already kind of covered a few of them, but just to reiterate, here are the common mistakes that I see when people are learning chops. The biggest one is with clubs when you're just trying to do it too fast. And that's just really hard to do unless you already can do the trick. So really slow your pattern down, create a nice wide pattern, a little bit wider than you normally would, and a little bit slower and loftier than you normally would. And that should really help you be able to maintain it and also just make it look better. The other thing you might be doing is if you're throwing the balls too straight up and down, you're not gonna have any room to go into the middle. You wanna make sure that underhand throw is going outward and even a little bit wider than you would normally do it. Because you're gonna be pulling that ball to the outside, you kinda wanna make it to the outside already so that it's easy to grab and drag up to do a chop. All right, that's it. That's what chops is. I hope this tutorial helped you. If it did, please consider subscribing and checking out the rest of my videos on my channel. I do fun practice videos and I have a lot more tutorials already made and coming soon. So subscribe, turn on notifications, and if you want to go the extra mile, you can go to my Otter Club on Patreon and become an otter, where you can get exclusive content as well as an extended version of not only this tutorial, but a lot of other ones that I've made. The extended version of this tutorial has an additional trick called outside chops, which is just a really fun variation of what we just learned. So if you want immediate access to that, you can go get that right now on my Patreon. There's a link in the description. Thanks for watching and good luck. 1, 2, or drop them. That can happen also. Difficult, like this is actually a cool looking trick. You could accentuate it. Hey, I made a trick. I just made up a new trick. Aha!
Hello everyone. Today we're gonna learn how to juggle with these. And no, they're not called bowling pins. These are juggling clubs. And although they may be as often on the floor as with bowling, I'm gonna explain you how it works. So we're gonna change that. Let's get started. As you can see, I'm now juggling the cascade. But the big difference between juggling with balls and juggling with clubs is that the clubs spin. And you should only catch them at the handle side. So always aim to catch them here. You see, when I catch this club, the club is pointing out slightly. Actually, it's almost at a 45-degree angle with my body. Now for the throwing. I'm going to mirror this angle, keep the palm of my hand pointing up, going to this side, and make the throw. So when I catch the club, it's at a nice comfortable angle in my hand. A common mistake that I see very often with people just starting out with club juggling is that they put the back of their hand up to the ceiling and they try to throw the club like that. Don't do that, just keep the palm up all the time. Make the throw like this. Also, I try to have most of the energy out of my elbow and then a little bit with my wrist. So the flip, I make it with my wrist. The energy for the height of the throw, I get it out of my elbow. And that's the exercise with one club. And now the exchange. Starting with my right and starting with my left. Now go out and practice this step. What you need to know is how to start with 2 clubs in one hand. That way you can start your 3-club juggling pattern. It goes like this. I have 1 club in my hands, just like so. And I open my fingers and I'm going to put the 2nd club on top. So with these fingers, I'll hold this club and grab it with my thumb. And from the back, it looks like this. This club is going to be the first club that I will throw. I give it a little bit of a flip. I'll do that with my wrist and a bit with my fingers as well. Just like so. Now I need to grab my fingers around the handle of this club, throw that one, and that's the start that we're going to use for 3-club juggling. And now it's time to grab that 3rd club. You'll be holding 2 clubs in your dominant hand, 1 over here. For now, we're just gonna do the exchange. 1, 2, catch. 1, 2. With this exercise, you get used to holding that 3rd club. Once you have mastered this, it's time to throw the 3rd club. We're gonna do the flash. 1, 2, 3, catch. 1, 2, 3, catch. Now that you have familiarized yourself with the handling of the clubs, you can go for a bit longer runs. For example, 10 catches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And after that, you can try to keep going. Congratulations! You're juggling with 3 clubs.
Hey everybody, my name is Taylor Glenn and this is my channel Taylor Tries, where I try new things and I try to teach you new things. And today I'm going to teach you how to do a kick up with juggling clubs. Just like that. Before I jump into how to do the kick up, I want to take a second to thank everyone who is a member of my Otter Club over on Patreon. It is because of people like you that I'm able to make these free tutorials for everyone else, so I really appreciate it. If you want to become a member of the Otter Club, you can do that. It's only $2 and you get access to a lot of cool stuff, including an extended version of this tutorial where I'm going to show you how to not only do a kick up, but how to drop into it as well. What exactly is happening in a kick up? Well, in a kick up, what we're doing is we're having the club on our foot and we're kicking it up. Kick-ups are a great trick. They not only look really cool, but they also save you from having to bend over and pick up your props every time you drop them. It's pretty much a perfect scenario for everybody. So they are an essential part of your juggling toolkit. Let's break it down. I had my water bottle in this the whole time. I'm not gonna refilm the intro. Okay, so first we're gonna learn how to start the kick up. We're gonna tilt our foot up to its heel so that your toe is up in the air. Now I want you to take the club and with the fat end facing away from you, you're going to put it on the outside of your foot. What you want to do is push the bulb up as close to your foot as possible and have the handle up against your leg. From here, I want you to put weight back on your other foot so that you can freely move the foot with the club on it. Lift your foot up and kick it as though you were kicking somebody in the butt next to you. As if there's a person standing here and you're like, hey, no. That's the motion of the kick up. You want to be lifting with your knee in addition to lifting your foot up towards the front. So we've got the club here. That's it. That's all there is to it. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to be back on your heel and to lift it up. What a lot of people try to do is kicking it out. That doesn't work, it'll make it go that way. You'll also want to use some momentum for that kick. As you get better at it, you can control it a little more and basically lift it. But when you're first starting out, flick it up. And then when it comes down, there's a tree there. And then as it's coming down, you will catch it by the handle. That's basically all there is to it. Kick-ups are not as hard as they look. They do take some practice to kind of get that kick really solid to where you can just do it anytime. But if you're still having issues with it, have no fear. I'm gonna cover some troubleshooting tips right now. All right, so one of the most common mistakes that I see is that people have the club horizontally and they try to lift it up like this. Kick-up is not a lift in the sense of balancing the club on your foot so that you can pop it up like that. What's instead happening is you're catching it up on your leg so that it is flipping as you kick it up. You really want that sort of pressure of the bulb against your foot and the handle against your leg. You should be able to feel the handle on your leg. So if you're not lifting your foot up on its heel, that's probably an issue you're having. And then from there, really just use that like leverage to catch the club and pop it up. The other common issue that you might be having is that your club is not spinning enough or getting enough height. That really just comes with time. Basically what's happening is you're not catching it and getting enough momentum with your club. Really focus on creating that leverage between your foot and your leg and kick it up. If it's underspinning, that just means you have to have more flick in there. If it's overspinning, it means you have too much flick. It just takes practice. When you figure out the right balance, it'll become a lot easier. Another common mistake I see is that when you try to lift up the club, it falls back away from you. Basically why that's happening is because your club is probably not far enough up towards your leg. If you have the club too far down to where the handle or the knob is almost to your foot, when you lift up, there's no catching on your leg. So you really need to try pulling that club up towards your leg, having the middle of the club almost where your ankle is, and that should give you enough of that right leverage to kick it up. Lastly, one of the things that I remember having a lot of trouble with was just really being able to get it to come back towards me. It just like flips away from me like that. Really, that comes with practice and time. That's usually a combination of all those things again. It means that your foot was not up enough, it wasn't pushing it up against the club, and you weren't popping your leg back to create that leverage. Remember to like kick the person in the butt. That should help fix that problem. If you do it too far forward, it's gonna go out. Want it to be in line with your body and like kick. All right, once you can do a kick up by placing the club there, that's really great, but what we really want to be able to do is be able to walk up to a club, put it on our foot, and kick it up. That's more efficient. Like if you're already gonna lean over, you might as well just pick it up. Why would you set it into a kick up? That would be dumb. Put the club down with the bulb facing away from you. And so if you had just dropped, you would walk up to it that way. If you were on the other side of it, go to the other side. Next, you're gonna stand on either side of it. Then you're gonna transfer weight to the foot that you're going to do the kick up with. You're going to use the other foot to push the club over onto that foot, pull the knob a little bit towards your leg. And then you essentially should be in position. You should be able to feel that when you lift your toe up, back onto your heel, you're feeling that club nestle against your leg. Then from there, you can do your kick up. It takes some practice, it takes some time, but luckily you can just practice it anytime you drop a club. Try to do a kick up. I mean, if you're like me, you drop clubs a lot, so it really doesn't take that long to start getting more efficient at that trick. Okay, so if you want to kick up into a pattern, you're gonna do that same thing that we just worked on, but this time when you kick it up, it's gonna be coming from the outside. The hand that is receiving the kick up, you're gonna then start throwing with that hand. That's all I have for you on how to do the kick-ups. Hopefully that helped. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. I will do my best to answer it. But if you want to learn the bonus part where I actually drop into the kick-up and then kick it up, which is just a fun, fancy thing that you can do from a cascade or just, you know, playing around with one club, you can get the extended version of this tutorial over on Patreon exclusively for patrons. It's only $2. You can get access to it right now. There's a link in the description on how to do that. Other than that, good luck, and I hope you have a great time. I hope it's super fun. Boom! I don't know what that was. That wasn't good. Lift it up. Hey everybody, my name is Taylor Glenn, and this is my channel Taylor Tries, where I try new things and I try to teach you new things. And today I'm going to teach you how to do a scissor catch. The scissor catch is not that complicated, and it's a great way to end a 3-club juggle. It also opens up the world to a whole other style of juggling tricks involving scissor catches, so it's a great thing to add to your 3-club repertoire. Before I get into how to do scissor catches, I wanted to take a second and thank everyone who's a member of my Otter Club over on Patreon. It's because of you guys that I'm able to make these tutorials for everyone else, so thank you so much. If you find this tutorial helpful and you want to support me, consider pledging on Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can help me out a lot and make sure that I can continue to make this great stuff for everyone else. In addition to helping me and getting some cool exclusive rewards, you also get access to an extended version of this tutorial. In the extended tutorial, I'll cover ways to get out of the scissor catch, as well as some cool variations. All right, let's get cutting. Get it? Because it's a scissor? I think it's funny. In order to do a scissor catch, you don't really have to know anything else. In fact, you don't even have to know how to do the 3-club cascade. That being said, I do recommend that you know how to juggle 3 clubs and that you're pretty comfortable with how they spin and how they move. I also recommend that you know how to catch 2 clubs in one hand. If you don't know how to do any of those things, I have a tutorial on how to juggle 3 clubs where I cover all that information. There's a link in the description if you want to go watch that. If you're comfortable with all that stuff, let's take a look at what's happening in a scissor catch. The scissor catch is pretty easy to understand. It's holding 2 clubs in one hand, throwing a 3rd club up, and catching it between the 2. Let's break that down step by step. So the first part of a scissor catch is the grip. If you watch my 3-club tutorial, you'll know that there are 2 grips that you use when holding 2 clubs in one hand. The first is regular or standard grip, where the inside club is on top of the other club. The second is circus grip, where the inside club is underneath. Now, I'm going to be covering how to do scissor catches with both grips, but that being said, I do find that the regular grip is actually superior for scissor catches, as it gives you a little bit more control and opens you up to more variations. So if you are somebody who does circus grip, that's totally fine, you can learn it that way, but I do recommend maybe trying to learn it with regular/standard grip as well. Now, something that's worth noting is that for scissor catches, I find it's easier to be slightly lower on the club than maybe you would be normally. If this is how low you normally are, great, you're already there, but I tend to actually be a little bit higher up. But for scissor catches, it's helpful to be a little lower down so the club has room to slide in. So we're holding our 2 clubs in one hand. Normally when we're doing this, our palm is facing up. But for the sake of scissors, we're gonna turn our palm so that it's facing down. This is how you're going to catch the scissored club. If you're a circus grip juggler, your club should already be set up to do a scissor catch. So just keep them where they are. When we're doing a scissor catch, we're going to be loosening and tightening this grip as the club slides between them. So just take a second and kind of play around with opening and closing your hand a little bit. In circus grip, that control usually comes by manipulating the bottom club between your thumb and your back fingers in order to create that open and closed grip. In standard grip, you're achieving that control by flaring open your hand and letting the bottom club extend into the rest of your fingers. These are the techniques I've noticed, but everyone is different, so play around with it and see what works best for you. I want you to then pull them up just slightly, just a little bit, towards you, and as you do, I want you to loosen the clubs and then bring them back down and tighten them. So we're gonna bring it up, open your grip just a little bit, bring it back down and tighten it again. The separation doesn't have to be intense. It doesn't even have to open. It can just be that you're loosening your grip. The idea is that you don't want to be pinched so tightly that nothing can get in there. Just loosen your grip a little bit, and then as you come down, tighten it back in. Practice this little bounce up and down. Once you feel comfortable with that, let's pick up that third club. All right, now we have a third club. Put the club between those two. Just hold it there for a second, let it sit, kind of feel what that feels like. This is where your scissor catch is gonna end. Now getting into it can be a little more tricky. What you're gonna do is you're gonna throw a single with this club. And as you do that, you're gonna kind of lift this other hand, just like we were practicing, to kind of match the club. As we're lifting up, we're gonna open our palm a little bit. That club is gonna swing around, we're gonna come down and catch it. Most of us don't have perfect aim when we're doing scissor catches, so it's not uncommon to end up kind of catching this a little bit lower down from the knob. What then happens is that you loosen a little bit and you let it slide all the way down so it catches at the knob. So just keep practicing it. Eventually you'll figure out how loose and how tight to hold those two clubs so that it slides perfectly into place. Next, I want to touch briefly on how to get in and out of scissor catches. So we're going to start by just juggling the 3-club cascade, and then you're going to simply stop just like you normally would. You're going to collect 2 clubs in one hand. You're going to turn your hand over. You're going to throw that 3rd club up with a single and catch it into the scissor catch. From here, to get out of it, we're going to let the club swing back a little bit, and we're going to throw the club up, catch it with the other hand, and continue juggling from there. That swing out can be really hard at the beginning when you're not used to it. What often happens is you end up throwing it too far out. Honestly, that just comes with practice. The more that you do it, and eventually you'll figure out that perfect spin. The last little tip I wanted to leave you guys with is if you're having a hard time opening and closing these 2 clubs, what you can do is stick your index finger between those 2 clubs, and then as this club comes in, you're going to pull your index finger out. I find that what that does is just forces open these clubs and gives me more control of where they're at. Admittedly, this is how I learned how to do scissor catches, and it's still how I default to doing them. I think a lot of people might frown upon it and see it as kind of a bad habit. I don't recommend that you do it, but it's there if you need it. All right, that is all I have for you today on how to do scissor catches, unless you are a member of my Patreon, in which case there is an extended part of the tutorial right here where I'm gonna cover some fun tricks, some ways to get out of it in a fancy way, as well as this weird thing. So if you're interested in that, you can get that for $2 right now. Go over to my Patreon, sign up, and you'll get immediate access to it. Thanks for watching this tutorial. I really hope it helped you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will do my best to get to them. And if you're wanting more juggling tutorials, go check out my channel. Subscribe so that you know when they all come out. So go look around, go shopping. It's free. No making noise, squirrels. We talked about this last time. I'm watching you. Hey everybody, my name is Taylor Glenn and this is my channel Taylor Tries, where I try new things and I try to teach you new things, and today I'm going to teach you how to juggle 3 clubs. It's pretty cool. Before we jump into how to juggle these clubs, you have to have clubs to juggle. So what kind of clubs should you use? That is really a personal preference type thing, but I do have a couple sets that I recommend. If you're just starting and you have a budget and you don't want to get the really good set yet, there is a beginner set that I do recommend. There's a link to that in the description. For the most part, a lot of the beginner sets aren't really that bad. They're not great, they're not going to be these professional clubs, but they're not bad. The only set I highly recommend you don't get is this one-piece Duncan clubs. They're usually bright white or bright yellow and they have flames on them. I hate them. Don't get them. They're too hard, they hurt your hands, and they will break. If you want to invest just a little bit more and get a good set that's gonna last you a while and feel really great, you can get Henry's, loops, or pirouettes. They're pretty affordable for a professional club. They're used by jugglers all around the world. They'll last you a while and they look cool. So there's a link to those in the description as well. So once you've got your clubs, you can actually start throwing stuff. Let's do it. All right, in order to learn 3 clubs, you gotta learn 1. Get rid of those. 1 club, yes. All right, so let's take a look at this club. There's 3 main parts to a juggling club: the head or the bulb, the handle, and the knob. Obviously for the 3 club cascade, we're just gonna pay attention to the handle right now, but it's good to know what those are. So to hold the juggling club, you're not gonna hold it very tightly, and we're gonna hold it just below the center point right here. Have the club resting on your 4 fingers, and then put your thumb on top like this. And I want you to do that pretty loosely. You don't want to hold it really tight, and you also don't want to be holding it like a caveman club. It's not that type of club. Hold it nice and loose in your hand. A lot of it is in your finger dexterity. You're going to be using your fingers to control the spin a little bit. So now that you're holding it correctly, let's try throwing it. When we throw a club, we're going to drop our arm down, and then also tilt our wrist down just a little bit. I don't want to see this, and it's not this, it's not straight down. It's just kind of a combination of both your arm dropping and your wrist. And then from there, you're going to reverse that. You're going to lift your arm and flick that wrist just a little bit to get a nice, easy spin. When you catch, you want to catch in that same spot that we threw from. You want to catch just below that center point. Just like the 3-ball cascade, you also want the club to be crossing in the middle of your body. This becomes a little more important with clubs just because of the rotation that is now involved. What you don't want to do is throw it a little too horizontally where the club is almost going flat. You also don't want to do it straight up where the club is in the middle of your body, because then they'll collide. So create a nice diagonal line across your body. Take a second and just get comfortable throwing that 1 club. Learn how your individual club spins, get used to catching it in that same spot that we talked about and throwing it the way we did. Get good at this. Practice it until you can get 1 club comfortably. Then pick up another one. Yeah, 2 clubs. With 2 clubs, we're gonna do the basic exercise that we did with 2 balls when we were learning 3 balls. So you're gonna throw 1 club, and when that club comes down, you're gonna throw the next club. Right, left, or if you're left-handed, left, right, left, right. And then alternate. Right, left, right. Right, left, right. Again, keep in mind that arm to wrist ratio that I talked about, and also keep in mind the crossing of the clubs. Don't do straight up, and don't do too far horizontally. Create nice diagonal lines. Once you feel solid with that, we can move on to the next exercise. All right, I know what you're thinking. I feel good with 2, let's move on to 3, but I have a different exercise for you. One of the hardest things about learning clubs, in my opinion, is how to hold 2 in one hand. This is difficult, and then throwing one of those clubs is difficult. So I'm gonna take a second now and teach you how to hold the clubs and how to release them. There are 2 primary ways to hold 2 clubs in your hand. The first is to hold one here between your thumb and your index finger, and then put the other club on top. This is called standard grip or normal grip, depending on who you talk to. This is what I do. I feel most comfortable with this. The second way to do it is to hold the first club more in your fingers and put the second club on top where your thumb is. That is called circus grip. I think this is super uncomfortable. I hate it. I will never do this grip. That being said, my experience in the juggling community has shown me that it's a pretty good mix of whether people prefer one grip to the other. So try each one, see which one just feels more natural for you. Don't try to learn both. Most jugglers have just one that they use. They never touch the other one. Regardless of which grip you're using, the first club that you're gonna throw is gonna be that club that's more on the inside. So in standard grip, it'll be the club that's kind of on top. In circus grip, it'll be the club that's more on bottom. In this case, it's the blue club, either way. So in order to get that spin that we normally want, you're going to drop your hand and you're gonna use these back 4 fingers to push up on that club. Meanwhile, you're gonna pinch the other club with the inside edge of your thumb to keep it from throwing. So we're going to go down, we're going to use these fingers to pop that club out and hold on to this club with our thumb. So just practice throwing that first club. Put it back, throw it again. Practice that over and over again until you feel good with it. All right, so once you're feeling comfortable with 2 clubs, releasing that first club, let's pick up a 3rd club. All right, we've got 3 clubs. Start with 2 clubs just like you were, and then 1 club in the other hand. Now we're ready to juggle. So you can just practice doing the first 3 throws. 1, 2, 3, catch. Just like when we're learning 3 balls, make sure that you're not rushing the clubs. Keep them evenly timed and keep them the same height. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Once you feel good with 3, add a 4th throw. 1, 2, 3, 4, catch. 1, 2, 3, 4, catch. And then when you feel good with that, add a 5th throw, and then a 6th throw, and a 7th throw. You know the drill. You should be comfortable with that process by now. Other than that, you just gotta practice it over and over again. Repetition. You're not gonna get good at juggling clubs unless you practice them a lot, so don't be afraid to get outside and practice. If you're having a hard time with the collect part, which you very well might be because collecting is really hard, I'm gonna take a second and teach you that. To collect 2 clubs in standard grip, we're going to, again, pinch that 1 club with our thumb and fan open those fingers. That gets it ready for the club to fall into it. We have it here, throw it, and just catch that club on top. That's the first way to collect it in standard grip. The second way is instead of holding this club in your thumb, you're gonna hold it down by your fingers and you're gonna open up your palm and your thumb, getting ready to catch that other club. Next, to collect 2 clubs into circus grip, I don't use circus grip, so I'm not as good at it. I think the easiest way is honestly to actually start with this 1 club in your fingers and then catch the other club on top. The other way to do it would be to hold that first club in the thumb just like we normally do, but to kind of tilt it up and catch that club coming down in the rest of your palm and then trap it with that top club. This feels super unnatural to me. I don't understand it. I think some people do honestly collect this way with circus grip, but if you are a circus grip juggler, I think the easiest way to collect would be that first method I just showed you. Next, I want to take a minute and talk about some of the common mistakes and problems that I see with 3 clubs and possibly some of the things that you might be having a hard time with while learning. The first thing I see a lot is that the club isn't spinning enough and you're throwing really high. If your club isn't spinning enough, it's because you're not using enough wrist. Now, don't overspin it. You don't want this. But when you drop your hand, drop your wrist a little bit too, and then when you bring your hand up, reverse the motion of your wrist. That will allow for you to get a nice natural spin. Again, you're gonna get better with practice and time. It will smooth itself out. Eventually you'll figure out the perfect rotation. The inverse of that I also see quite frequently is that people are using their wrist too much and they're not using their arm to do the throw at all. Just like we don't wanna be up here having the clubs spin not enough, we also don't want them down here only using our wrist. See how my arms aren't really moving? It's bad form, it doesn't look good, and it's gonna hurt your wrist in the long run. You're going to end up getting carpal tunnel. So don't just bring your wrist down, bring your arm down too. Bring it down by your thigh. Then when you release, use an equal combo of your wrist and your bicep. That's how you juggle clubs the correct way. The other thing I see, even among some really good club jugglers, is these bowed arms. You'll see jugglers sometimes juggling like this. Okay, maybe not that much. It's probably more like this. I personally think this is super ugly. I don't like it. Remember when you're juggling to keep your elbows in towards your body. So when you're juggling clubs, don't let your elbows come out, bring them in. Yeah, the last common mistake I see with people learning clubs is you bring your hands up too high. just like with 3 balls. You want to keep your hands down by your hips, not up by your chest. So don't juggle clubs up here. Don't hutch up your shoulders. Bring them down. Bring your arms down by your hips. Juggle down here. It's okay if it goes higher, but try to keep your arm here, not up here. Okay? All right, that is all I have for you today. Hopefully this gets you started on your 3 club journey. If you found this tutorial helpful and enjoyable, give it a like, thumbs up, give it a thumbs up, and consider subscribing and turning on notifications. And if you learned how to juggle 3 clubs from this tutorial, leave a comment, let me know. That makes me feel awesome. That means that, you know, this isn't all for nothing, all this hard work. If you want to be extra awesome, you can head over to Patreon and support what I'm doing by becoming a member of my Otter Club, not a juggling club. The Otter Club. If you do that, you'll get all sorts of insider goodies, access to my videos early, and more stuff that I'm not going to list right now because I'm tired. So that's it. I hope it helps. All right, bye. Sweet, done.
Again. What up, you guys? Welcome to another one of these juggling tutorial videos. Today, what I got for you is a 3 club combo like this. So it's a little bit swingy. I'll do it again. Ooh. Okay. So from there, you can go on and continue however you want. Okay. So the first is sliding the club to the knob. So you hold it between the first and middle finger. Peace. And you drop it there, okay? And you do that while you're holding the other club. So it just goes down, okay? Now, I hold it discreet that it's on the below of the higher club, so I have to go down and drop it, okay? But I do it on the action of here. So when I go down, I slide it, and then what you do is you turn the fat end of the other club to the left. And the club spins at the same way that this club is on, okay? So when you turn it sideways, it spins like that. You don't spin it this way because then it gets caught in the club and the wrist. It cannot spin. So it spins on the outside. So when you turn to the left, it spins in front of the club, okay? Inside like that, okay? And that's it, that's the first. And then you learn to throw it from there, okay? Just like that. So it goes from here, you slide it, spin, and throw. Now we're gonna add the left hand, which is just a synchronized throw. So it's just a single flat front. Like that. Cool. I'm watching myself from the mirror, so it's pretty funny. Okay, like that. Now with okay, so let's continue. So it's and now with the one that you have in your hand, you're gonna turn your hand to the right, so the palm is facing front, and you're gonna do just a roll, just spin it like that. So it's just a spin that the fat end spins from the right side of your right hand. So it's again from the outside, and you turn it like that. Okay, so you hold it with your thumb, only with the thumb. So you go front, you hold it with the thumb. Okay, and that's it. So again, you do that, and now from the spin, it goes behind the back, and you're gonna do a back cross. Okay, so now, so learn this first. Learn the spin to the back cross. Slide, back cross. Now we're gonna actually catch it with the left hand, okay? So for that, the back cross needs to be come really in front of your body, okay? So then when you turn, you can catch it with the left hand. So what you do is you turn half away. First this. First you just turn 90 degrees and you catch the club with the same hand. And then you continue turn 90 degrees, so it's a half spin from your, and you catch. Now the way that I do it, I use my right leg and I take a step with my right leg in front of the left and turn, okay? And from there, half more turn, okay? So once you catch, you're gonna do a half spin. Okay, cool. So now it's time to put them all together. So you have the sliding it down, you make the spin and a throw, spin, throw behind the back, and catch. Now you're back here again, and you can go wherever you want to go. Okay, cool. Try it out. Let me know how it works. If you have any questions, put them below. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you later.
Hey, this is Niels Duinker teaching you another trick. Today I'm going to teach you a trick with 3 clubs. The trick that I'm going to teach you is called 3 club flats. It looks like this. Well, as you can see, the pattern is the same. The clubs move in the same way. It's just that they spin differently. In fact, they don't spin at all. 3 club flats. So the way you start practicing with just 1 club. So when you juggle 3 clubs with a single spin, the clubs spin. With flats, they don't. So it looks like this. So look very closely how my hand moves. When I spin them, there's a little bit of action with my wrist. There's a little bit of action with my elbow. When I juggle with flats, you want to move your hand up so the club stays completely horizontally. So when you let it go, it stays horizontally. So now you're going to incorporate this throw into the 3 club pattern. So you pick 1 club, for example the green one, and you just throw it without a spin. First you try it with one side, and then you try it from the other side as well. When you get better, you pick the club, the green one, and you move it around without giving it a spin at all. Then you get better, one hand does all the spinning, one hand does all the flat throws. And then you alternate that, and now completely juggling with flats. So I'm going to move around to the side. You see how my hands move up, that the clubs don't spin at all. That's 3 club flats, and I'm hope you're going to have fun learning this trick.
Ooh, yeah. Don't do this. Mitä hittoa? Ooh, yeah, what up you guys? Welcome back to another one of these videos. Today we're going to talk about what grip do I use and why. Like grip as in how I hold the clubs and why. Okay, so today we're going to talk about club grips. So how to hold 2, 3 or more clubs in the one hand, and like why I use the grip that I use, okay? So there is 2 popular grips. There is the under grip and over grip. I know some people watching this, they go like, well, that's actually a classic grip and a circus grip. Yes, they are traditionally, they are a classic grip and circus grip. I've done juggling over 20 years and people have telling me over 20 years what is what, like which is over, which is under, which is circus, which is classic. In my brain, I can't remember that. I have no way of remembering that because in my head, circus is classical. Classic is circus. Circus is classic, classic is circus. So why in earth would you call like classic and circus? Especially traditionally, jugglers were only in circus. So it's like, oh, that's a classic circus. Circus is classic grip, classic circus grip. What? I don't get it. My head explodes every time we talk about it. So we're gonna call them now under and over. So when you hold one club in your hand, do you take the next one under or do you take it over? These are the 2 most popular grips that are used. And recently I heard that there's some popular juggler on YouTube teaching guys that you hold like that. Please don't. Like just, I know there's no right and wrong, but there is stupid and more stupid. So don't use that. Please do not use that. Okay? You can if you want, but later on, you can't do anything, period. Like, you can only do that. That's it. That's all you can do. So if that's all you want to do, go for it. If it's not, if you want to do cool stuff where you can grab club, do whatever you want, oh, even that, then learn something else, all right? So I use under grip. So I always take the club here, put the next one under, put the next one under. That is what I use, under grip. And there's the over grip and over grip. There is some cases that I use over grip, and it is when I have to start basically 5 club singles. And I can do it from here as well, but sometimes I find it hard to go that high single very fast. It usually over rotates, so I can do very quick spin. But sometimes, especially if I have a balance, I'm going to do 5 club singles under the balance, and I start with the singles. Then I find it much easier to go here. But that is pretty much the only, still the other one goes under and the next one goes over, because that I can throw more looser single. I can throw more higher single from that. And that is the only case that I would use over grip, okay? And yeah, there's pretty much nothing else. And I would never grab it there. I would never catch it there. I would always place it. So that would be the only trick that I would use it with, because I like the tricks that I do. I like to be able to collect and then go straight into the next. Or if it's like a multiplex, I want to go straight to the multiplex. If it's a 3 club multiplex, I want to be able to go from catch into the next trick without having to go, oh wait, let me just switch and now I can go. I want to be able to, when I do my routines, I'm going to just go boom, 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 boom. And that is the reason why I use this. I don't know if you can. I've never seen anyone who uses over grip, where you take the next club over, to be able to do what I do with clubs and with multiplexes. So I think this is better. Under grip is much better, and I'm going to show you why. With under grip, you can catch the club under, so it doesn't. When I catch over club, some people can do this. When I catch here over, it hits the other club and it bounces easily away. I have very small hands, very short fingers, so it's very hard for me to catch that, especially if it's the third one and I take like a low triple or something and I want to catch it there. I can only barely grab it with the tips of my finger, so it's very easily bounces off, okay? Especially if I do like really high throw, and to go super high all directions, super fast or high from here, and I only hold it with the tips of my finger, I find it very, very hard. So it's very hard for me. That is why I use the under grip. And also every time you do a multiplex, because when you catch under, I can just catch and I can go release, 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 catch, release, 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 catch, catch. And it's very easy all the time. First of all, to keep it like this, I can do that and I can go again straight into the next move. So I don't have to do any kind of this kind of thing. I can go boom, 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 boom from one trick to another, always, every time, no matter what. So that is why I use that. And the same with the multiplexes. I can easily go, if I want to go to this multiplex, I can go there very, very fast. Boom, boom, okay? Boom, boom. Or let's say I want to go the multiplex where it throws 2 in the same. I can go into that as well. And if I have to be super, super fast when I do like 5 club multiplexes, different patterns, and it turns and moves, I can go easily throw that in there. See? And it will lock because it's under there. I can lock it very easily. If it's over, I have to do it a little bit more gently so I can catch it. There is nothing for it to lock except my fingers. And the under grip, I have the club here as well, so it's much more secure for me, okay? Because this is in my palm and this is on my fingertips. And my fingertips are not as strong as my hand, as my palm. So again, that is why I use the under grip. Here you can do, but not as fast. I can do it not as fast and strong as I can do with the under grip, okay? So yeah, there's a whole bunch of reasons basically those are the biggest ones. I want to be able to go really fast from one trick to another without ever changing or needing to stop the grip that I have. Boom. But yeah, without ever needing to stop or think about how to go. So I can go from anything. Now, obviously there is a problem when you switch hands. You do switch the grip as well. So if you want to do that, but the same problem comes with the over grip, because now it's under grip. Over, under, okay? So that problem is on both sides. But now that I know the problem, I would never do that. If I would do this switch, I know that I have to switch the pattern. So if I juggle, throw from there, I have learned how to throw from there, okay? So I know if I do this trick, a switch, and I want to continue on this side, I have trained the over grip enough so I can start from there, okay? But on my everyday use, it's always under grip, all right? Under. And yeah, I guess I made my point clear why I use it. And again, this is the thing. Some people say like, no, I use over grip. It's so much better. Yes, for you. This is my opinion. You don't have to do exactly everything that I do. I'm just telling you, I use under grip. And reason why I use it, I just explained, because for me, it's much more secure and I can do much faster all the different multiplexes that I do with 5 clubs and with 3, and I can go from one trick to another, and I don't have to do any kind of changes that I can't do unless without very quickly in my hand, because sometimes the patterns that I do require, especially a 5 and 6 club multiplexes, they require very, very fast movement, and my 3 club style is I do a lot of collecting and starting. So yeah, that is why I use under grip. And yeah, I would be very curious to know what grip do you use. So please like comment if it's something different, because those are the common ones, under and over. And please, if you want to tell me which is classic, which is circus, you can, but I won't remember. Like, people have tried. Like I said, I've done this over 20 years. And I learned first, it's this or this. And well, actually people didn't even show you two. They just saw one, and then I saw these people do it differently and this did differently. And I tried them both and see which one was better for me. And it was the under grip. And later on people were like, you know, that's a circus grip. I was like, oh, and that's a classic grip. Really? What? Why do they call like that? Well, I don't know. So yeah. Nobody seems to know why they're called classic and circus. So don't call them classic and circus, because classic is circus. Circus is classic. Anyways. But yeah, that is why I use the under grip. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Check out more videos and I will see you later. Ooh. What up you guys, welcome back to another one of these videos. Today I'm going to teach you guys a very cool 3 club move, okay? You can use it as an ending in a sequence, whatever. So this is what it is. There you go. So first of all, what it is, it's just a way to put all the 3 clubs in your hand. So first what you're going to do, we're going to just practice this. So putting the 3rd club on from a spin. I do recommend the under grip for this. You see how useful it is? Okay, so if you haven't watched the video, check out my what club grip do I use and why. You can find it here. But yeah, so the first thing we're gonna practice catch 2, spin the third one in. And you don't like hit it because it will bounce. You will actually put it and then let go. So you do that. So this is, that's it. So from a cascade, you're gonna throw, catch, spin this, and in there. So when you spin it, you slide it down. So you actually hold it with your thumb and your index finger. And it slides down the knob, spins on the outside. So there's the outside, and it's here. So you just drop it forward, and it comes back from the outside, and you put it there, all right? That's it. And then you practice it from a cascade, like that. And now you can add one more spin to it. This is something that you can do, so why not to do? Okay, that's it. Now let's add more. Now we're gonna add double spin. So we're gonna throw first with the right hand, double, and then put it. So if you're gonna do the spin with the right hand, you're gonna throw double cross from the right hand. So from here, double cross, spin twice, and put it there. And that is why we did the double spin. So because if we do just one spin, it's that. You can do the same, so you actually put it before the third one lands on your hand, but it's a different thing. That's a little bit harder because you go 1-1. Now we want to go spin twice and then put, because we're going to add on, all right? So you're going to throw double from the right. If you do the spin with the right, spin, spin, put. That's it. Spin, spin, put. Now let's add one more. We're going to add this. You can do a spin. I like to do a throw, right? For me, because I'm so used to doing this. So you can do that as well. You can just spin it. I like to do a reverse spin. It's just my personal preference, but you can do the spin as well. So you can just do a spin. If you want to do the spin, you squeeze it with your thumb, you push it forward, and it goes outside. Push it forward, then you palm up, then you bring your palm back down. You push it forward, then you palm up, squeeze it with the thumb, bring your palm back forward. It just spins automatically. So you can do that when you throw the double. You can spin and then catch. Throw the double, you spin, you catch, all right? If you want to do the reverse, you just do the reverse. I like the reverse, like throwing one spin reverse, right? Either way, see which one is more natural for you. All right, let's do it again. And then we're gonna do the double spin and put it there, all right? Now, if you want to add more to it, we can, instead of doing 1-2 spins, we can do one reverse and then only one spin. So that would be, oh wait, like that. So you go double, reverse, reverse, and then spin. So again, you can do this. You can go 1, 2, and that's it. So you don't have to do the spin. But again, like I said, I'm used to this, to go from here, which is exactly the same. I do double, reverse, reverse, and then put it there. That's why I do reverse spin and not the spinning. That's why I throw it. But you can do that as well. So this is the both spinning. That was both spinning, and this is the throwing of the reverse spin. So you can see the difference. See which one you like, but try it first. All right. And now the last thing we're gonna add on is, instead of putting it here, no, there's like 2 more. We're gonna go from a penguin. So that is gonna be a little bit throwing. So it's, we spin, but then we keep our palm down when that comes up. So it comes here. So it goes outside, we keep our palm down, so it just comes there. And from there, it's gonna go to the hand. So you have to let go just before it stops. And the best way to let go is when it's there. Because if you release from here, it will easily just turn like that. But if you release it there, it will keep on spinning. So you don't want to be too late about it, all right? Like that. And obviously, you can practice first with just that. Okay? Yeah! So that's the next add-on, is this. And you can also go always step back. You do that. Oh, come on. And then you go with the double. And then you add the spingy thingy. And then you can add the boom boom boom. And do that. And now as a final thing, instead of releasing it here, we're going to do exactly this, but we're going to go under the arm and release it there. So that is the final. So for this, we're going to go under the arm. It's exactly the same, and it's going to go get released there. So now the angle is super important. If you can see here, let me go back a little bit. But I'm this way. So it actually comes from there. You can go all the way here, but then you have the handles are in the front. What I like to do is I go over the wrist, and then it goes over the handles. Okay, you see? So I put the handles close to the body. I put the handles close to my arm like that, and then I go over the wrist. So it actually goes there. It doesn't go from here, because then it hit the handles, knobs, and everything. So I put that there, and I go from here. So it very easily goes. Or it's like it's touching my pinky. So I just let go, and it turns there. So you can even do this, but that's not what we want. We want to keep that and go there. So in a total sense, this is what it looks like. Okay? And if you want to add, oh wait, there. So if you want to add a little bit movement to it, it's very easy after you go, because you can add movement there, and you can drop there. Oh, come on. Yes. So just like you can add at the end. You can continue somewhere, or you can just walk. Like you can even do that. And then go for it. Okay? But yeah, that is it. I think it's super fantastic. This is something that I've been playing around a lot. Like I just used to do that a lot. I used to do this a lot in my routines. And then the last add-on was do it there. You see? Smooth. Anyways, yeah, under the arm. Give it a try. I really like it a lot. I use it a lot. I think it's a fantastic move. Give it a try. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if you want to learn how to do all this kind of your own variation, your own tricks, and learn more about all these different kind of crazy juggling techniques, definitely check out my online juggling course, the Juggling Mastery. It's just packed with everything. There's way over 400 videos now. I think it's like over 70 hours of video lessons and tutorials. So definitely check that out. It's a paid program, but it's not expensive. It's quite cheap. So I will put the link below. Check it out if you're interested. If not, take a look still. Why not? Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson. So what up, you guys? So today's tutorial is about lazies. So these are lazies. So that's the trick of today. So for this trick, you need two prerequisites to be able to do this trick easier. The first is high singles. So you do just single throws and high throws like this. Okay, so two things in here. Your arms, you want to make them go straight when they go down. So your arms, they go straight, and then you throw again. Because that's make it easier for the lazies, and also it makes it look much more better. And the next thing is the crossing point. So you go with your hand, you go cross and then up. So it's not, the crossing point is not high with the claps. So with your hands, you first go cross and then you throw up. Okay? So this is what you want to learn before you do the lazies. And the other trick that you want to learn is flats. Okay? And I made a tutorial about 3 clap flats. You can check that out. So you learn flat throws. And also with the flat throws, you try to make your arms go straight when they're down. So when you catch the club, you go all the way down and then you come back up. Okay, the throw is not with straight hand. So when you go high, you bend your elbow a bit when you throw. Okay, and the same here, the crossing point, you try to make it low. So you put your hand, it goes across and then straight up. Like this. Okay, so with these two tricks, you want to start with your lazies. So the idea, you go down, cross, and then you throw up, and you catch. Your thumb goes down, your palm turns upwards, and you catch. Now you want to make the throw go behind your shoulder, okay? So the club goes behind your shoulder, so you're not catching it here. Because here you have to really bend your elbows, your shoulders, and it just doesn't look good. You look like a monkey doing that trick, okay? So what we want is, so this trick, where you throw them behind your shoulder and your arms are straight, versus this trick. Okay, so it doesn't look as good, okay? So we want to go straight back. So you learn that first. You go behind your shoulder. And again, crossing point, you go across, and then you throw behind. And then it's up to you if you want to make it go over your shoulder to throw, because you can make it lower. I like to make it go over my shoulder. So you can have the center of the club that goes above your shoulder and behind your shoulder with both hands. Okay, so with that you can make it nice, big circle-like pattern. So next comes 2 clubs. Okay, so again, we're going to use this pattern, just cascade. So it's a 3-3-0 side swap. So first, make a flat throw. No, first make the lazy throw. Okay, and then a normal throw. This will help you control the clubs, control the spin. And also, if you see with the lazy, I go a little bit front, and then I come back with the hand. So to make it like a big circle. So you go all the way there, front, and then you come back. This is where the straight hands comes in. So you have with the arm straight, then you come back. Okay, and then it's first normal throw and then lazy. Normal throw, lazy. And again, try and think about the crossing pattern. You go first cross and then you go straight. Okay? And the clubs, they spin this way. So they don't turn like that. Because when you turn them, it's a lot harder to catch. Plus, it looks much nicer on side view if they spin like this way. Okay? Get that. Oh, sorry, first normal, then lazy. Okay. And once you get that going on, then just both lazies. Behind the shoulder, yeah. Okay, and then it's time for 3. 3 klubburna. Okay, so you just take your pattern, slow it down a bit, and then do 1 throw. Continue. And on the other hand, ooh. Again. So it's a little bit slower, the lazy throw, than all your other cascade throws. What you can do, if you want, you can make a slower pattern, then just add the lazy throw there. Or if you want to do a lower pattern, then you just have to wait a bit on your lazy. Okay? And then just with 2. So you go 1, 2. Ooh. And drop. So 1, 2, and drop. So 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Ah, damn it. It's harder to do 2. Okay, and then it's also you do with just one side. You go 1, 1, and the other side. And then again, try to do them as many as you can other side. Now when you do this with 3, try not to bend your body like this, okay? So keep your body straight so you wouldn't mess up. Because if you have to do that kind of stuff always, then when you do it with 3, there's no time to move. Okay, so keep your body straight and you'll make the clubs go side you behind the shoulder. Okay, and then it's just a matter of doing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you can also learn starting from the other side, your weaker side, but I find it easier the first you learn the strong side. Okay, and that's it. Once you get it going on, you can just keep it going on. Okay, and if you're starting to mess up the pattern, then just go back with 1 club, with 2 clubs, and see where you're making your mistakes, and then build it up back for 3. Okay, cool. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, put them below. See you next time. So today I'm gonna answer the question, what clubs do I use? Oh yeah, what up you guys? Welcome back to another one of these videos. Now if you're new to the channel, there's not gonna be any naked chicks. Sorry. So this channel is all about juggling. If you like juggling, if you're into juggling, please subscribe, like the video, leave a comment. All of that good stuff is all appreciated, so stick around. So most of you guys know me from Instagram, and the biggest question, or at least the most common question that I get all the time, what clubs do you use? Like, do you recognize these? This is the one that I use now. The question that I get all the time is like, what clubs do you use? What clubs are those? And I'm gonna answer the question now. So what I'm using is Henry's Dolphins. So I'm gonna talk about Henry's Dolphins, okay? A lot of people mistake these clubs to be PX4s, but these are not. These are Henry's Dolphins. And I use Henry's Dolphins, I love them, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. Now, before I get started, I just wanna let you know, Henry's does not sponsor me. They never paid me anything to say anything. Just to be fair though, they did give me a set of these clubs, 10 clubs of these, 10 of these for free. Now it wasn't free, I gave them a bunch of pictures, I gave them rights to use my pictures for their promotional material. So in a sense, yes, they gave me a set of clubs, but I also gave them. So it wasn't like a sponsorship, it was sort of like a business deal. So instead of them buying the pictures from me, I was like, you know, give me clubs, I give you pictures. And they're like, all right, let's do it. So that is how I ended up getting this. But before this, first clubs, I started off with some random like one-piece plastic clubs. And they were fine at the beginning, but you know, they were not. And there were bad ones. When I went to buy them, they only had only three ones. I wanted 5. So I had to buy, and they had 2 like pretty ones, but even lighter ones. So I had to buy 3 of one size, and then 2 different clubs that were also one piece. And they were just super light, hard, plastic piece of shit. Okay, so those were my first clubs. And then my second clubs were like some, I think they were like Mr. Baba's Euro Flip color silver or something like that. And they were like okay, but very fast. They were quite heavy. They had a wrap handle. The wrap started to come off and the knob started to bend. Okay, so it's the very cheap screw inside them. Yeah, so after that, I got my first Dolphins. And it was actually a bunch of people in the circus school, they ordered Henry's Dolphins. And they were like, hey, do you want to order some dolphins? I think this was 2000 or 2002, something like there, early 2000s. and I got my first dolphins, which were pink. Now this is not the ones. They asked me, what color do you want? And I was like, I know a lot of people who use them, and orange was a huge color back then. So I thought, like, what color you have? And they said like this and this, and alright, let's do the pink ones. So the first one that I got was actually pink, and I got 5 of them. And I used them a lot, and then at some point I got 2 more, but they didn't have pink anymore. So I got orange. So I had 5 pinks and 2 oranges for 7 clubs. Yeah, and I've used these ever since. I have tried different clubs. I have tried, well, like Mr. Babbage clubs. Never really liked them. I did try Blade clubs, those PX3s, the light version that they came out. They were super bendy. They were okay, but they were not good for multiplexes and body rolls and stuff that I do. I don't like the longer handle. I like the shorter handle, which is why I use dolphins. And yeah, I tried also pirouettes, which is like Henry's as well. Renegade clubs, I tried Renegade. So I tried a lot of different ones, and every time that I'm like in a juggling convention, I try different clubs. But still, I like the most these, Henry's dolphins. So yeah, so I got the pink ones. This is a newer pink ones from Circus. But I just wanted to show you. Then I got the white ones after that. I needed more. I didn't break them, but I just wanted a different color than the pink ones. I wanted white ones for a specific show. So I got the white ones. And I've used these for a very long time. And then I also wanted some pretty ones for stage. And that's when I made these. So I made 5 of these, and I've used them for stage for like 10 years. Yeah, because I only use them on stage. So they don't really go bad. So yeah, I've had set of 5 for like 10 years, I think, for stage. So yeah, they last a very long time. And now I got this. Now the reason why people think that this is a PX4 is because of the white middle ring. Now you can get this in different colors. You have the knobs. I think there's like maybe 7 different colors or so. And you can get the top part in different colors. But this is the thing, and you can get this white or black. But they don't make colored handles, which is very stupid because they make color handles. Henry's makes color handles for loops, which is like dolphin in a pirouette size. So it's a longer handle and a shorter top. But they don't make color handle for this, which is insane, because this is the thing. If you didn't know, and most people don't know this, Henry's made colored handles for Renegade. And I think someone else also have them. So there is colored handles for dolphins, and you can buy them from Renegade Juggling, which is, I think it's just insane. Like, why do you make colored handles for other people to sell, but you don't sell them? It just doesn't make sense. Like, Henry's, if you're watching this, what the, like, I don't know. Please sell the handles. But anyways, if you want dolphins with the colored handles, Renegade has them. And yeah, Renegade didn't pay me to say, I just heard that they have them and I saw them on the website. They have them. So yeah, I would actually love them. But okay, anyways, let's get back to the thing. A few more things about the dolphins, and then I'm going to explain you why I like them. Now, first of all, here is a few different things that you may or may not know. The handles changed a few years ago. This is the new handle. This is the old handle. The difference is, it's not a big difference. So this is hard and shiny, right? And this is a little bit softer and it's matte color. Okay, it's not a shiny, it's matte. And that's the biggest difference. As far as I know, Henry's wanted to make some softer ones. I don't know who initiated this, but they sent to Havard Twitsten and Kristen Van Beek. They sent a whole bunch of different handles to try and test. They were like different softness, and they tested out and they said that this was the best one that they think, and now Henry's makes it in this. Now the first time that I got, like, they gave me the new set of clubs, it had the new handle. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I tried it, I didn't like it at all. It felt very slippery, it felt really bad, it felt too soft, what I'm used to. But it was, I couldn't get a grip, but it was actually on winter. Now in winter, especially here in Finland, it's super dry and cold. So my hand was really dry and cold, so I couldn't get that grip. So I thought it's because of the club. The club sucks, the club handle is bad. But it was actually my hand that sucked. My hand was bad. So after that, I noticed when I practiced more, I had a little bit of sweatiness in my hands, and I was like, oh man, now you can feel the grip. So I noticed that it's actually my hands, not the handle itself. So after playing with it a lot, I started using also lotion and stuff like that. So now I can get that good grip from right away when I use the lotion. And yeah, it is a specific type of lotion that I use. But anyways, yeah, so the new handle then, I did like it. Now I love this. I don't like this old one anymore, so I don't use the old ones anymore unless I have to. I really like this new one. The matte, it's better grip, better feeling to it, and the softness is just good. All right, another thing that you did not know about these clubs is that the stick inside, it's not the original stick, okay? The original stick is heavier, it is bigger. I use these sticks. The only difference with these is it's 56 grams. I think the normal stick is around 70 grams. So my club is actually about 12 or 14 grams lighter than normal. And that makes a huge difference. Now, it is possible you can just ask, you can make the sticks yourself. Just get a stick, weight them, and ta-da, you have a lighter stick. But you can also ask Henry's to make it. The normal club, I think it's around 206 grams, 208 grams, something like this. Okay, so it is quite light in a sense, but this is 194 grams, so it is much lighter. So it depends on this weight. It's about 12 to 14 grams lighter because of the stick, and that makes a huge difference because when you juggle all day long, just having that 10 to 14 grams, like this is 12 to 14 grams lighter, it's amazing difference. It is a huge difference because think about it. Every time you throw. So even if it's only like 10 grams difference, that's like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You'd have to juggle for like 10 seconds and you juggle just 1 kilo lighter almost. Okay? So if you just count every throw, it adds up to a lot of weight. So it is much better for your hands, your wrists and everything. And to me, the tricks that I do require a lot of speed. Especially, I do a lot of multiplexes with 5. So I really love that I can take the 2, I go really quickly and easily, I can throw again because of the lightness. It just gives me so much more speed, and also my muscles stay more relaxed. I can train longer and have less injuries. So I really love how they handle, and also I love the part that it gives me a little bit more, you know, it makes it a little bit easier to be faster, and I really love that. Now, on the contrary, the tapes, they add more weight. So what can I do with this and this? Now the difference is huge because the difference between this one and this one is the tape, and it's 10 grams. It's about 10 grams the tape adds. So if I take this one and I add 14 grams, I get that. And then I add another 10 grams, I get this. So the difference between these are huge, but I use these outside shows because they add a little bit more weight, so it's a little bit wind resistant. And also when I need to have a shiny clubs, I use these. But I know that I cannot do all the same stuff with these because it adds weight, and also it puts the weight on the front. So it's not exactly in the same place, the center anymore. Now it's just a little bit more front heavy. So it's just something to think about. All right, but enough of that chit chat. Quickly about this, how do you get the lighter sticks? So you can ask them. The way that Henry's gets these sticks, they get a huge amount of sticks and they weigh them because wood is not always the same. It's wood, it's not man-made metal, it's nature-made wood. So, or plastic or whatever. So it's not always the same density. Sometimes it is much lighter. It's not a lot, but they weigh. They take when they get a box, like ton of, I was going to say shitloads, but when they get a ton of these sticks, they weigh them all individually. They have them this size and then they weight. See the weight, and then they put it here. And then they put the next one, and they take the lighter ones aside. They're not gonna sell you those, but they do keep them. They have them in the storage. So if you want lighter sticks, you can ask lighter sticks. But this is the warning though. Lighter sticks means the wood is not so dense, means it will break more easily. Okay, so if you do want a lighter stick, just know that it can break much more easily. But after I got this, I did break a few. I think I broke now maybe four clubs in 2 years. Not that a lot, and it's very easy to change because it comes with the holes and everything ready. But I just bought extra ones. So when I got more stuff from them, I bought more stuff. I bought sticker boxes and everything. I was like, all right, and also can I have extra sticks? And they weighed 56 grams. So if you want this exactly the same, you want to try this, it is 56 grams, all right? 5, 6. Cool. So now let's talk about the club. Because this is the thing. Before the PX4s, I think even before the PX3s, everybody said that dolphins are toys. They sound like plastic toys. This sound, that sounds like a plastic toy. And some people, they say that it's very bad. But as soon as those PX clubs came, the PX3 and then the PX4, nobody said anything about the dolphins anymore. Because those clubs, they sound so plastic, toy, hollow. It's like boom, boom. It's like, listen, it's like boom, boom. So it's like this sound. That's like this snap kind of thing. But those are like boom, boom. They sound so much like bad toys. So it was so funny. Nobody talks about them sounding toys, but nobody talks about dolphins sounding like toys anymore either. So that's I find it very interesting. But yeah, so I don't think it's a problem anymore of that. This doesn't sound like a toy, especially if you compare it to the PX clubs. As a side note though, I'm very, very super curious about the new EX clubs with the aluminum stick. Yeah, I did try them quickly, but it was a different shape. It was like a pirouette shape with a longer handle. I would love to try them on one of these sides. But anyways, let's talk about why I like this. So first of all, Henry's knobs, but obviously you can change the knobs. My biggest thing that I love about this dolphins is the wooden stick, right? Because the wooden stick, it doesn't bend, so it's very responsive. You get what you want from it. Like, it will stop when you need it to stop. When you do these hits, it will bam, bam. It doesn't go like, boom, it isn't flexible like that. You don't get this, whoa, whoa, whoa. You don't get any of that kind of reaction. With some clubs you do. It's sort of like the whoa, whoa, whoa. And when you throw, it goes, it's just because it's a wooden stick, it stays straight. It stays, it doesn't shake, it doesn't wobble, nothing like that. So yeah, that's what I love about the wood. And for me, I do a lot of those club hitting. I hit it with the other club, I hit it with the hand, and they're just very easy to control, very light to do. It doesn't hurt you. To me, it is just good. Okay, and I think they made this very well. The new handles are fantastic. This is a little bit soft. Also the top, which gives you more bouncy when you hit them. And yeah, the knobs are the best ones in the market. So I really love Henry's Dolphins, and I've been using them a lot. Now it doesn't mean that if a better clubs comes along, will I change? Yes, of course. I'm trying all the time new clubs. But for now on, this works best for me, what I do. And what I do mostly is 5 club stuff, 5 club multiplexes, and club hitting, all the kind of body roll stuff. So that's why I like the short handle, the bigger top, the new handle, the soft matte handle, it feels fantastic, and the responsiveness of the wood. It's just this bam, 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 bam. You can really feel when you compare it to the other clubs. You can just, with this, there's none of that. And yeah, it's very easy to prepare. And yeah, obviously when you compare it to the other, like when you compare it to the other clubs that don't break, that have like a carbon fiber or whatever inside, I don't know. I haven't broke this so many. Like, I've used this daily for over 2 years. I think this is not third. No. I got it in 2018? No, 17. 2017 I got this and I've used it since. And yeah, I think I broke 4 clubs. 4. So I've used it pretty hardcore all the time. Yeah. But obviously I clean them. I only use them on inside. I see a lot of people, they break this when they're outside, but all clubs destroy when you're outside. Inside, I've used it. I can use it for years and years and years if I just have new sticks. Anyways, cool. That is some of my thoughts about Henry's Dolphins. Yeah, I like them. I want to use them all the time. I think they're just fantastic. But anyways, and you can get them in different colors, shapes, or whatever. That is it. That's the clubs that I use. Henry's Dolphins. Thank you so much. And Henry's, if you see this, please send me more clubs. Please give me a sponsor deal. Anyways, that's all I had to say about that. Please subscribe. And if you do want to learn more about juggling, I have my online juggling masterclass, which is like at the time that I'm recording this video, there's over 400 tutorials in there. Tutorials, lessons, how to learn new tricks, about club technique, ball technique, ring technique, pirouettes, stretching, how to create your own tricks, your own routines and everything. There's so much material. There's about how to teach. It's insane how much material. Over 400 tutorials. I think there's only like close to 70 hours of video. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff in there. It's probably the biggest selection of juggling tutorials ever made. So definitely check that out if you're interested. I will put the link below. It's €9 a month, so it's not a bad price. And you can try it out. If you don't like it, you get a full refund. So definitely worth trying. That is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson or video or whatever you call it. See you there. Oh man, it feels good to be back. Oh yeah, what up you guys? Welcome back to another one of these videos. Today I want to talk to you about some exercises for your grip. So like I use under grip, meaning I put the clubs under next, and some people use the over grip. For me it's completely fine. Just do whatever works the best for you. But I wanted to show you some exercises that you can actually practice to get it better, so you can do whatever it is, the type of trick that you want to do with that. Just the release and catching and releasing, because a lot of people don't realize that you can use it in your everyday juggling routines. Because most people, it's just about exercising like this. You do exercise on the hand. Obviously this is boring, but doing stuff that I did before and the stuff that I use in my club routines all the time, it's all about just doing the catching and releasing, throwing and catching exercises basically. Okay, so they're very beneficial. So I want to just give you guys a few examples of exercises that you can actually do. So the first is super obvious, throwing like that. So you just throw from one hand to another, okay? Like this. And when you want this to be more harder for you, try to think about, you don't want to have to do this. Okay, now they're perfect. Okay, and yes, now they're perfect. So you want to try to practice so you can do it right away. So there's a few different options that you can do, and I use all of those options, okay? So first is you just throw. You don't care how the clubs are in your hand, you just practice to throwing them. And it works for some occasions, but if you have your clubs like this, and you have to start throwing like high throws and fast or something, it's not gonna work. So first is that you can do, and I use it sometimes. Like if I have to throw low throws like this, then it doesn't really matter how they are. I can always throw it. But for high throws, you can't. So the first thing, you just throw. The second is you catch at the right place. You always catch, and I know it's perfect, 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 boom, perfect, 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 boom. So you have that. You just know where to catch. But it takes a lot of time to get there. So that is something that I recommend you go towards. But then the third thing comes in, which is if you make a mistake, if you don't get it perfectly, how to fix that. And that is correcting, like that. It's just a simple movement. You catch it, it's poorly, you correct it, right? So it's, if you catch it on here, correct it. It's good now, it's good. So if you just make a poor mistake, just fix it a bit. So you can either fix it, pulling it back a little, or pushing it up a little. That's it. Back, up, down, up, down, up, and down, and up, and down. So you just do it like that, okay? And it's just a matter of simply practicing like this, all right? All right? All right. Okay? Okay? Okay. And later on, you're gonna realize that did you make a mistake? Like if it's far away, you know that you just catch the handle without even looking. You can feel it, or it's just, you just know it. Usually you can see it or feel it. But if it's a problem, you can just take a look, okay? Yeah, so later on, it will come sort of like a second nature, so you can just do it. You can just like fix it, see? I fix, I fix, I fix. So you don't have to even think about it, it just happens. But first you have to think about it a lot, okay? But yeah, so that is how you improve this exercise. You make it perfect in a sense. And then the next one would be you do this in doubles, and then obviously in triples. Holy shit. Sorry. I didn't say that. And then after that, you start to make it fast. You go boom, 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 catch, boom, 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 catch. And then you go boom, 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 catch, boom, 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 catch, okay? Now, the next one would be transferring everything. So you transfer it to the other hand, back here, and then you go straight away, okay? You transfer it here, back, and you go straight away. The reason for this is you learn to catch the whole thing as a bundle, and you immediately have it in the correct position. Now, to see all the small details of this technique, I have a tutorial. I just make it on my Juggling Mastery, but this is just a very useful exercise. And again, and if you want, you can do it behind the back, and then go again. But yeah, and hi my lord, look at it's a bird, or it's a plane. No, it's Superman. Yeah, but that comes also super useful for later on. And if you want to create a lot of different juggling routines and do this creative stuff, this is also a great tool that will help you to do all this. You can transfer clubs, and then you can go into whatever it is that you want to go into. So all of these exercises, they will help you with that as well. And final thing that I want to show you is just adding throw into here. So you go single, or you can do it as a double. And like that. Look at this, and then boom, 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 right? Boom, boom, boom. So it's just adding an extra throw to make it more, to get yourself more used to this action and to get a better grip, better release and everything. And again, that is it. If you want to see more of these exercises, I have a longer video with detailed explanation of the whole technique and everything in my Juggling Mastery. It is the ultimate online juggling course. I mean, it has over 400 tutorials in there. It's just insane, all right? So definitely, the link is below in the description. Definitely check that out. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson, video, whatever you call this. See you there.
friends and fans around the world. My name is Niels Duinker. I'm from the Netherlands. And in my home country, I've won the National Juggling Championships 3 times. My name is even in the Guinness Book of World Records, all through juggling. It's so much fun, and I think with a proper technique, everybody can learn the basics. So today, we're gonna learn how to juggle. Have fun. Seriously, I do not know what happened. But this is a great trick. Guess how I learned this recovery. This move is called the kick up, and it's the topic of this tutorial. And now for the explanation of the kick up. When the club is on the floor, you can pick it up with your foot or with your hands. So you put it in position just like this, or when we're starting out with a trick, it's a little easier to put it in position with our hands. So there's a contact point right here, there's a point of contact right here. And now, when I move my heel to my butt, use your chances, I can start to kick up. Just like that. And that's how you do the kick up. You can use it as a start to go back into your 3-club juggling pattern.